Does it work? Yes. Thank you for the introduction. Welcome. As said, my name is Joost van Baal, and I will talk about the work I did on integrating Mailman with PGP and S/MIME so that you can have a secure list server. You can reach me, and you can reach the project. The style of the presentation is somewhat different than the one you saw before. I choose that there are various list servers, of course. I choose to work on Mailman, and I can show you why. Yes, it works. This is an overview of the various mailing list servers there are in the open source world, and this graph depicts the popularity within Debian as Debian packages. So how many people are using these specific mailing list server software? Well, as you can see, they're all about this, have about the same popularity. And this one looks a little bit different. Where's the pointer there? This is Mailman, and this is the rest. So everybody's using Mailman. Well. Okay. What the server does is, okay, you have someone who wants to post a message to the mailing list server, and there are subscribers who want to receive the post. What I did was make it possible that the list itself has a key pair, either PGP or S/MIME, and for people wanting to post, they can submit their public keys, either PGP or S/MIME, to the list server. So then you, when a poster encrypts to the list key, then this traffic is encrypted. And when a subscriber has submitted his public key to the list, then this traffic can be encrypted too. And at both points there also can be authentication, because the list server can say, hey, you are a poster but you didn't sign your mail with a submitted key, so I'm not allowing your message to get in. And at the other side also, the server can sign the outgoing posts with its own key, so that people can say, okay, this post really got accepted by the list server and it's not from some other instance. Is that clear? Or if people want to interrupt me with questions, that's fine with me, so please do if you have any questions. Okay. So this is for those of you who are familiar with Mailman, this is the membership configuration web interface. And what I added was here a box to submit your public keys. So these are additions on the Mailman code itself. And then we have some other configuration interfaces for privacy options. As you can, in the previous slide with the scheme, there are these 2 points where encryption and authentication can take place. There are various knobs you can tweak to say what you want, what restrictions you want on these 2 parts in the communication. These are here are some knobs for GPG, and similar knobs exist for S/MIME. And here you can upload the keys if you are a list administrator for your list. So here's another one of these interfaces where you can tweak the knobs for your specific list. Okay. So both for PGP and for S/MIME, these 4 knobs exist. For the poster, so this is at the first part of where the mail gets accepted by the list server. You can say, should the post be encrypted to the list key? Should the post be signed by some registered member? And once it's accepted, should it be distributed encrypted to the member keys, and should the server sign it with its own key. So you can have various options on how strong you want authentication and message integrity. Let's see. Well, this is about the overview I wanted to give of the mailing list server. Of course, the code is in Python. The mailman itself is in Python. It's submitted in a Bazaar branch, so you can contribute patches, of course. What else? I got a question. Yes, please.
So how do you install this? Is it a plugin or is it?
No, currently it's only distributed as a patch. So you have to get the mailman table itself, apply the patch, and do configure, make install. I'm currently working on binary packages for Debian and RPMs, but these are not yet there. Well, actually, I started working on the project. The patch exists for quite a long time, and I started working on it a couple of years ago. And at some point in time, there were binary packages, but well, the work continued and the focuses were elsewhere. Oh, and I should mention one other thing. The NLNet Foundation funds the work, so I got a fund to work on code. I want to distribute the handouts. I'll come back to you. I have some more complete stories about it, and please pass them. Thank you. Yes?
My question was, do you have written spam assassin rules to reject mails coming from lists that should be signed or encrypted or something?
Should I repeat the question for the audio? Okay. The question was, did I write spam assassin rules to reject or accept the post? No, I did not. The validation of whether the message is properly signed is done by Mailman itself, because all the PGP and SMIME handling is in the patch itself. So it's not external. So no spam assassin or whatever.
No, but if I'm on the receiving end of the mailing list, then I want to be able to say this mail pretends to be from this list.
Okay.
And I want to reject it.
Okay. So the spam assassin rules are supposed to be used by someone who subscribes to the list to decide whether the list is properly signed by the list key. No, I did not write these rules, but indeed that's a valuable thing to add. One other thing I should mention. Of course, you can have encryption and signing. You can use PGP while operating on mailing lists. You don't need any support for the list server, actually. But what this patch adds is it delegates the key management from the subscribers or the users participating in the list to the key server. Is that clear? Traditionally, you'd have to encrypt your message to all the members of the list. And of course, that's a hassle if you have big lists. So this key management is delegated and handled by the list itself. I saw one question. No. The question is what the list server does. That's what you want to know. Okay. Well, the list server encrypts to each member separately or encrypts to all. It encrypts to each member separately. It does not make one message and sends it to all, but they all got specific messages specifically for them. Yeah? That's an interesting question. The Mailman development is interesting. There are about 2 persons working on upstream now, which is very few given the installed base and the size of the code. There is a stable branch and an unstable branch. Of course, upstream doesn't want big changes on the stable branch. And the unstable branch, well, some weeks ago there was the first beta release. It's not distributed with any popular distribution, so nobody's using it except for people interested in Mailman development. So that's why I choose to patch the stable base, so that I had the opportunity of making, with relatively little effort, Debian packages in RPM so that people could easily use it. And
until the next version comes out, you try to get it upstream for the next version too, or you
Well, the next version which actually is going to be used is probably a version of a stable branch. So, yeah. Yes?
Are the archives encrypted?
No, archives are not encrypted. The idea is that if you want to use this functionality, you just should not archive your lists. So, archiving there's Pipermail, which is the default archive for Mailman, which everybody hates. So, yeah, I don't think it would be useful to work on that code.
And what use cases do you see for this?
Sorry?
What use cases? What scenarios?
Oh, okay. You have lots of knobs, and one interesting thing is you could say you could allow encrypted messages, and if you have the Chinese dissident case that someone wants to send out a message to the world, wants to be anonymous and doesn't want the message to get wiretapped in his own network, then he can encrypt it to the list server key, and once it's there, it gets distributed. So that would be a nice case. Of course, it's a very effective. It can be used as a very effective anti-spam measurement, because I don't think spam engines are going to use encryption to send spam to lists. They do?
I've seen
Not much, but I've seen it once or twice already.
Signed or encrypted?
At least signed.
Signed. Jesus Christ.
That's why I asked the question about spell assessment rules, because
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
going to spoof mail sent signed from.
Yeah. Okay.
but they won't be properly signed.
No.
Not that good.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the spam fight, it's a mutual fight, so I think it's just the next step. I don't know. I think it could be really helpful. But yeah, well, if you have some secret stuff to discuss, then that of course that's the main use case. You wanna discuss privately. You wanna be sure about whom you're discussing with, and you don't want to have this big hassle of key management. And that's the main use case, of course. So,
Yeah,
yes.
there is only the point that you have one point of failure on the server.
Yes. Yes.
To consider, it's not that safe. So
No, it's always a trade-off. The alternative is that you do key management by all individuals themselves, and that would require lots of clue at each participant in the discussion. So. Any more questions? Yes?
So if I subscribe to the list, then I have to give up a key server where my key is, or?
No, you can submit your public key using the web interface.
Okay.
But there are other scenarios possible. So the list administrator can choose, no, I don't want this, I want to do the key management in a different way. You can submit your key only once, because otherwise there would be some interesting security issues. So, any more questions? Which we got? Well, we're almost out. We have 2 more minutes. No? Okay. Well, I don't know if anybody got the paper. I guess. Yeah. Okay. I handed out papers. Well, they're all gone now, but okay. Thank you.